There we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Kenny and Lewis live show. A little bit different this week. We're kind of off schedule. And that kind of happened because of how many streams we did last week. And we actually set up to go yesterday, but we're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully everything is fine and working correctly. And I know we can count on you guys to tell us if it's not. So let us know if there's any kind of issues, audio or video, delay in particular between the audio and video. But yeah, everything should be great. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Thank you, everybody who's watching the replay. We've got a bunch of things to talk about, starting with the FDA's proposed maybe flavor ban and the open public forum. What would you call that?
It's like a comment period.
Comment period. That's it. For some reason, I always can't remember what to call it. But so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to do a singular video about that and detailing more information, what we recommend you should include, not include kind of thing. Until then, we're just going to briefly talk about it. There's some links in the description. Everything you need to know, you can read Scott Gottlieb's statement, I guess you could say, and all the information as to where you should submit and everything like that in the description. Audio a little off.
How a little off?
Yeah. Looks and sounds good. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, should be okay. If it gets bad, just let us know. We'll try to keep an eye in the comments. But, yeah, it looks manageable. Let us know if it's not. We'll try to fix it. But, yeah, so we've got a good show for you guys today. As the title and thumbnail implies, we do have, let's show you guys, the AugVape V200. Pretty beautiful, not RDA. Nope, not an RDA. This is a mod. Little dual 18650 guy. And I love this and I hate this, but you're going to have to wait till the full review to get all the details. But so here's some of the styling. What does that say? Inspired by B18C-R. These little screens on here are fingerprint magnets. But this is how the wattage is adjusted. It's a really simple chip.
I actually really like simple chips. Because at the end of the day, all I'm doing is mess around with wattage anyway.
Yeah, and we'll show you guys this. That's kind of an indicator on one con that I have. But yeah, so it's a neat little mod. I love the way it feels in my hand. And then we'll also be talking about this guy, which is the Avatar Nano Mesh Tank by Vape Stone, I think, or Stone, Vape Stone. How would you say that?
Vapeston.
Vapeston. What's cool about this, and I'm not sure if the mesh, the Fire Luke mesh has this option, but we have a bubble tank, which is really cool. So spare glass comes in the container, spare glass in there. It also comes with 2 coils, just like the Fire Luke, but this is an optional accessory. I have a pack of coils here, and it is almost identical to the Fire Luke mesh. As far as the coil heads, they may even be interchangeable.
Yeah, Crazy Face said that mod's modeled after that engine. The reason the dial looks like that is so it looks like an oil cap for an engine. That shows you how much of car nerds we are.
Yeah, I don't see it. I guess. Oh, Inspire. Oh, that's an engine?
The engine, yeah.
The B. Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. Obviously, I've really done my research on this. I've spent a lot of time learning about it. But yeah, so the Fire Luke mesh tank, or no, this is not the Fire Luke mesh tank. You wouldn't really know the difference if you didn't know. But this is almost identical. The coils may even be interchangeable. In fact, we're going to test that theory. What did I do with the mesh tank? Shit. Not sure what I did with the mesh tank, but even when it comes, even down to the packaging of the coils, it's like they just bought the Fire Luke mesh and put their stickers on it and repackaged it. But again, I'll be doing a full review on this as well in the coming weeks.
Do you remember offhand how many milliliters the bubble tank holds versus the standard glass?
4.5 for the bubble tank and 2 milliliter on the standard tank. Bubble glass is pretty sweet. That was one of my kind of issues, not necessarily a con, but one of my issues with the Fire Luke is that you just burn through juice so fast. The capacity, you have to kind of constantly fill it. So with the bubble glass, pretty freaking awesome. And if the Fire Luke does not have the bubble tank released for it, then that's a major advantage. But being that they're nearly identical, I'm fairly certain that you could use this on the Fire Luke mesh, which I would love to find.
It'll be somewhere.
It's in here somewhere. I just brought it in. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will compare them in the actual video I do. But overall, yes, on both. You'll have to check out the full video. This mod, I'm so conflicted on this mod, but we'll get into that. Also, the Templar was in the thumbnail. The mod with the Templar, which are both by AugVape. And the review on this is coming next week.
Next Monday?
Next Monday. Yes, next Monday. And this is a awesome little tank. RDA. This is an awesome little RDA. I'm a big fan of this guy. And you'll see the video on Monday. Make sure you have the bell pressed. If you guys are here, you probably have the bell. You're the bell squad. But yeah, make sure you have that bell pressed, because YouTube does not send notifications to all of my subscribers for anybody. So if you have a channel and you have 1 million subscribers, every time you post something, YouTube is not sending a notification to every one of your 1 million subscribers. So make sure you press the bell if you want to be notified. We've got some really awesome stuff coming up. We have the Templar, the Nudge, this
thing.
Oh, right.
Do you want to show that?
Yeah, let's do that. This is a very interesting tank slash RDA
slash RDTA.
Yeah.
This
it
juice
is.
So be careful.
Yeah, this is the Kanger Tech. That
8 tank.
8 tank. 8. Yeah, it's that, and the design is really cool. I haven't actually used this yet, but Louis has. So it's a single coil. If you know the Druga, it's like that clamp snag system, except for it doesn't have the cap. It has the one screw on the dual post.
That's 2 screws.
Yeah, 1 screw each. Yeah, one screw on each post, 2 posts, single coil. And you can see that part right there. That is actually here. Let me get a better view for you guys here. You can see that that's actually a fill hole, and it doubles as the clamp hole as well. You can see. Let me grab a tool here. You can see where the wicks go in. I don't want to mess up Louis' wicks here. I guess you could re-wick it. That's a tank down under there, long story short. And that fill hole leads to this whole bottom piece as being a tank. So it's kind of like an RDTA, and they call it, what do they call it? A tank. Yeah, they call it a tank. They don't call it a dripper. So I guess technically, I don't know. I haven't used it yet. Louis is not thrilled with it. Is this the same cotton you had in the beginning?
No, I changed it.
Okay. Any better? Any worse?
No, well, I mean, but I'm kind of like you. I like my vapes very wet and juicy and
moist.
Yeah, very moist. And I never really got that with RDTAs either. So I never really liked RDTAs. So I've kind of noticed it's almost
single coil.
I do like single coils though. I'm a fan of single coils, but the thing that I don't really like about this is I never get enough juice on the wick. It kind of is more of prevents me from getting dry hits than it is I don't need to drip on it.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah. The other thing that the way that the airflow is done in this thing, it kind of has like a slanted down 3-hole thing going on.
Right.
Which
yes.
is like, in theory, really nice, but I noticed that like when I actually suck in on it, I get like a really uneven vape in my mouth. You could call that nitpicky, but like I do like I do like it really even and nice. And like the thing about the nudge is that was an even vape when I would bring it in through the 810. Even when you would use the little blocker off thing that they include with like the what's Kent's thing called?
The twisted messes.
The twisted messes. Like even that kind of prevents that. But with this one, it's kind of just like this weird layout where like half of the vape is like cool and half of it's really warm.
I hate that. And a lot of those atomizers that have that insert, they do that where it's super uneven.
With this one, like I've noticed the only way I can hit it is airflow up. And that way I kind of still get that illusion of like evenness in my mouth.
Have you noticed any leaking or anything like that?
No, none actually. Even when you were doing it right now, I literally just filled it up and I was really afraid you were going to leak on it when you were showing it off, but it didn't really leak at all. I think that was just from the cotton.
I guess the only way it would leak is if you tipped it toward that hole.
And you have to tip it a lot because it does have like a little ledge on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right, it does. Yeah, because that hole is like set back a little bit.
Yeah, and it is also adjustable airflow as well. This top cap comes off, so that way you can adjust that, and it also pops off like a hinge. So that's kind of a clever thing. I think that like they were on the right track with this thing, but the execution didn't like quite turn out right.
Yeah, really unique, innovative for sure. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. The closest thing that I've seen is the what was it, the Mad Hatter or something like that?
Yep, that was an old school one.
Yeah, and it had that hinge drip cap. I hated that.
It was
RDA.
bottom airflow. Yeah, it was super popular.
It was very popular.
That and the Troll were at the same time.
Yes, the Troll, yep.
That was my favorite RDA forever.
The Troll?
Yeah. I'm assuming you did not like it?
I did not like that.
I used to build like really fat, hot wire builds.
You know what? I think I have one.
Oh, do you?
The Mad Hatter or the Troll?
Oh, actually, I had a Troll in that box I gave you. Oh, there's the Mad Hatter. Yep.
I don't know if anybody remembers that from the good old days. Look at that. What are these called in a small or an engine? They're for heat dispersion.
Heat sinks, yeah. That used to be a big thing on RDAs too. Was heat sinks. I have that Alliance V2.
I don't know if I'll get that off.
It had 2 heat sinks that would come with it, one on the bottom, one on the top. And I remember back with those old school 22 millimeter mechanicals, they would get burning hot if the RDA didn't have a heat sink on it. So that was like a really like big
everything
thing for
was
a while.
22 back then.
Exactly.
So yeah, you didn't have the space that you do these days. And majority of the atomizers were 3-post like this. Very tiny deck, bottom airflow.
Yeah, it was just for a round wire.
Yep.
And then Twisted Messes came along.
Yeah, and the Goon.
Yeah, and the Goon. Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of old school stuff. We got to do our retro vaping segment sometime.
Yes, we need to start doing that.
Bring out my K-Fun Light.
Yep, the K-Fun 4.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of stuff. All right, so if you haven't yet, guys, so the fight for Cole Bishop isn't over. We need you guys to keep contacting your reps to show your support for vaping and ask them to do the same. Right now, predominantly, biggest priority is submitting your comments about the flavor ban or about flavors in vaping in general. So I've gotten a lot of questions like, what do I say? I'm not really sure what to say, things like that. Basically, you want to emphasize how flavors helped you quit. Like, for instance, my story is when I first, you've probably heard this before, but bear with me for those of you who haven't. When I tried vaping, or tried to quit smoking with vaping, my first thought was I want something to completely replicate and imitate smoking. So I was like, I want a flavor that's like Marlboro Lights. Give me that. That's what I want. And every tobacco I tasted was complete garbage and was not satisfying. I did not like it. It wasn't helping at all. It was terrible. And then I tried a strawberry, and that strawberry got me to the point where I was like, all right, this is delicious, and I'm getting the nicotine, and it kind of evolved slowly but surely. I smoked less and less and less, and then one day I was like, holy shit, I didn't smoke a cigarette today. So that's the part you want to emphasize, is the flavor portion. So if that's been your experience, share that. Really, we want to convey that adults like flavors and adults help contribute to people quitting smoking. So whichever manner you think is best. In the singular video that we do about this, I will have a better kind of Cliff Note version of what you should say prepared. I might even like type something up and either put it in the comments or give you a link, something so you can see an example. For some people, it's hard to like come off the cuff with stuff, so I'll try to provide the best resources possible. So if you're having trouble, you know, we have 90 days from the point where it opened, so I think we still have 2.5 months left. There's no rush. Obviously, please get it in. Don't like procrastinate to the point where you forget about it.
And then you end up crashing their website with comments.
Yeah, last second. Yeah. That actually wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But just kind of keep in mind this whole time, for as much as we're trying to advocate, the other side, the opposition, is as well. So all the anti-vapors are also trying to get their people mobilized. We really need you to do your part and not only do it, but help encourage other people to do it. We really need, watch out, table disappeared on me. We really need everybody to voice their opinions.
Do you remember what the company was that you bought that strawberry from? Was it like some house juice, or was it an actual like manufacturer?
You know what? I had the bottle.
Oh, really?
The empty bottle. Until I moved down here.
Oh, really?
I threw, like, you know,
you weren't
my
even paying
whole
attention.
life away. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember a Pink Dot cotton candy, 18 milligram out of a Ego.
Holy shit.
Well, it was as still as the mouth to lung.
Fucking gangster.
I switched quickly down to 12, but those things, they were mouth to lung.
Right, yeah.
You were using sub-ohm tanks and shit.
Yeah, I was. That little Kanger kit.
Yeah.
I wish I still had that. I gave that to somebody who wanted to quit, so
yeah.
I've given away so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All my first stuff. I wish I kept just for nostalgic reasons.
So much of my old stuff just broke. Like, I didn't even throw it away. It just stopped working. Like, I had that old, the Kanger Pro tank, the original one. That was a go-to for me for a while, with that device that had the screen on it, and you would twist it in order to change the wattage settings. Do you remember those things?
No.
Oh, okay. You're about to nod your head in. Yes, I know.
I remember like things like that, but
right.
I don't remember a specific device.
Yeah, that thing was my like beater for a very, very long time, until I went to a mechanical with an RDA.
Okay.
Yeah.
You made the jump right to mechanical, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I was on mechanical up until about 2 years ago, and like box mods, like the Sigalis were coming out, and the IPVs 1 and 2 already came out. So the IPv3 was out when I bought my. It was a hexohm box, essentially. It was like one of those types of boxes.
Series kind of thing?
Yeah, with a little chip in it, a little chipset. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, my first mechanical was a Noisy Cricket V1. That I still have.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that I still have.
You didn't go with a single 18650 like tube mod?
No, I did not, because I had, my progression was that Kanger box, and then I had, well, first it was like those little ego things every time I tried to quit. And then it was the little Kanger set with a really terrible coil. God, that thing was so terrible. But it was enough. It did the trick. But I quickly, like as I was smoking less and less, that Kanger wasn't doing it for me. So I got a Sigelli 150 TC. And then I was using that with a couple different drippers. I went like right to building coils. And then from there, I was at a cloud comp, and they had the Noisy Cricket, and I was looking at them, and I was asking my buddy what they were about, and he was telling me, and I was like, that sounds awesome. Hot, real hot series for sure. And I knew what series was at that point because I was building, so I, of course, did as much research as humanly possible. But the guy there was a guy standing there, a guy in the vape community back in Pennsylvania, and he's like, I'll give you $25 if you don't buy that. And I was like, fuck you, dude. But yeah, so moral of the story is I bought it and loved it. Really. Yeah, really, yeah. And I was rocking it with one of my favorite setups to this day, that Noisy Cricket V1 with the Twisted Messes OG or the Comp Vape, what is it called? Shit. The Double Vision RDA, which is a fucking awesome RDA. Came with 2 decks, and it was pretty much interchangeable with the Twisted Messes. Like, it had the same kind of unscrew the cap to adjust the outer airflow control barrel ring kind of thing. Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. 3 connected holes. So it was like, you know, hole, but they were kind of all connected, and you it's just such a cool, awesome RDA. 2-post, massive hole, post holes. Loved it. Favorite setup to this day. I really want to get the V2 Noisy Cricket. I haven't gotten my hands on that yet. I'm going to buy that.
They're cheap, yeah. And also, there's a shop that's in Austin that has Noisy Cricket V1s on clearance right now. I'm almost thinking about grabbing some more because they do kind of shit out.
Yeah, the buttons get real fucked up eventually. Yeah. You can find them online for like $7.
Oh, okay. Then probably don't even need to go there.
Yeah, no. You can get them for like $7. I might buy a couple of them because I don't ever want to not have one. I pull it out every once in a while and go on a huge binge with it.
Yeah. Did you ever use the Royal Hunter? Somebody mentioned it in the comments section.
Yeah, I had a Royal Hunter at one point.
What'd you think about it?
I didn't like it.
Okay. It was one of those like RDAs where it was like so beautiful. I always wanted one, but I could never afford one, so I never got one.
Yeah, they're too expensive. They didn't perform well. They were gorgeous, though. I love the design and like the gold kind of things they had on them. The logo was beautiful. Those were awesome little RDAs. They just performed like shit, in my opinion. People loved them, though.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, and they were in the era of really expensive toppers. Like, so expensive.
Blue Magic. I don't remember that one.
Oh, that's a little dark. Sorry about that, guys. That's pretty dark. I'm going to fix that on the fly as we go through some comments here. So let us know, guys, what your favorite, if you're watching the replay or in the comments right now, let us know what your favorite retro RDA was.
TC Vape said my first RDA was the TM1. I do not remember that one. Do you remember that one?
Not at all, no.
Let's see. Cricket 22. Nova Royal Hunter X24 works great. Oh, I see. The 22 is the pretty one. The X is, I guess, a newer one.
Okay.
Huh, interesting. I never used the 24.
Yeah, Micah, the Noisy Cricket is 22, which kind of does suck because everything nowadays
well, now with
is
the Squawk
24.
stuff.
That's true. Now you have the nudge, you have the noise. Oh, I'm rocking that Dead Rabbit on the Dead Rabbit SQ on the Noisy Cricket. Oh, fuck, yes.
Yeah, that's actually, I was using that for a long time, and then you let me use that Pulse Squawk box.
Have you seen my Noisy Cricket around?
Not recently, no. Oh, you had another one, not the one that had the button all ripped out of it?
Yeah, the silver one's right here. I don't know where the,
Yeah.
You know what?
My Noisy Cricket's sitting on my desk still. Yeah. 13 Heavens.
I'm going to run a 30mm RDA
on the Noisy Cricket?
On the Noisy
Dude, you can't get the button to work that way. I tried to run a 24 on it, and the button, like, clashed with it.
What do you mean?
Like, the button in the... Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Twisted Messes version 1. Yep, that was a good one. That's what he meant, TM1.
Oh, I forgot about this mod.
Yeah.
The cuboid. It's so small, it got lost.
Oh, yeah, that little thing is pretty nice.
What you guys know about this? Look at this little cuboid mod. Oh, it's dead. But yeah, it's a tiny mod. I mean, it is absolutely tiny. I forgot I had it. Battery life is terrible. I forget the milliamp hours on it.
How many watts would it do?
It goes to 80, I think, or
Dude,
60.
I've been getting down with low watts recently.
On a single coil?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because man, I've been running 110 watts for so long, and recently with the nudge and with this one, I've been running like 60 watts.
It's a good wattage for that. Yeah, depending on the resistance, for sure. Completely forgot I had this. I was supposed to do a review on this and the corresponding tank, which I have no idea where that's at.
You're losing everything, man. You're losing it.
I do. I lose everything.
Yeah.
They're around somewhere. This is cool. I'm going to put something on this. I think this is, I forget the size of this. This might be, I think it takes a 24 perfect.
Hef Tiger asks, hello. I am from Panama. Looking to transition from smoking to vaping. I was wondering what would you recommend between the X-Priv Vupu 2, G-Priv 2, Drag Plus Crown 3, or Revenger X? Thank you for the help.
The Revenger X is a cool starter kit.
Yeah.
A lot of people...
The tank kind of sucks on it, though.
Yeah, the tank and the coil. The tank doesn't suck, the coils suck. A A lot of people are boycotting Fupu right now, but for you, if that's what you like, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you different. Yeah, the products are solid.
Yeah.
Not the best business practices.
And on Arise asks, how's the nudge? I love it. If you like single coils and like you're down with like a smaller deck size, like I like those hot, dense vapes with single coils. I mean, I miss it. I don't have it on right now, and I wish I did.
Back to your question though about what you should choose. I would highly actually recommend before you get into a big setup like that. I would recommend something like either the Mi Pod or one of the other pod systems. That's something that I wish that I had when I quit. It would have made it a lot quicker of a process for me, and there's a lot you need to get into when you start with a dual 18650. You need at least 4 batteries. You need to learn a lot, battery safety. The Mi Pod's pretty freaking awesome. That's what I recommend. No buttons.
Mouth to lung, just like a cigarette.
Yeah, and you can use higher nicotine, or like you can use sub-ohm juices in it if you wanted like a 6 or a 12.
But if you're just getting off of cigarettes, especially if you're a heavy smoker, they make 50s, 40s, 30s, 24s, 20s. So you can kind of pick any range depending on how much you're actually going to be chiefing on it. And it works well. You get that same kind of like nicotine buzz from it with the nicotine salts.
Yeah, I highly recommend at least considering them if you have access to try one. We carry both sub-ohm juices and nic salts on our website, along with the Mi Pod, if that's something you'd be interested in. I would check out some reviews and stuff. Don't do anything on a whim. Keep asking around. That's a great way to do it. But we do have those things available on the website, hometownhero.com, if you want to check those out. Yeah, I agree. The nudge as well, I'm a big fan. I haven't spent a ton of time with that yet, but I love it from what I've used of it so far. Drag over the Revenger for a mod.
You would choose drag over Revenger too?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple different things though, right? The drag is boxy. It is a box, right?
It feels very old school.
Yeah, it's very sturdy, rugged. The chipset in it, like the board, the electronics are very, very good. The Revenger chipset is fantastic as well. It feels different in the hand. It is a completely different mod.
It does feel really great, though. When I saw you using it, I thought it was going to feel like chintzier than this. It feels very solid, very heavy. Like the weight is right on it. And the way that the RDA sits in the center is actually something I really like. Yeah. I didn't think I would. Simple button layout. Great. Yeah.
It can be. I've had some issues with the Revenger X, though. Yeah, the magnets are great. Overall, it's a good mod. I have had some issues. I've had reading issues, reading the atomizer. It'll say constantly, I'll try to hit it and it won't fire. I have to look at the screen and it'll ask you new resist or new coil.
Is that a problem that you've had a lot?
Yeah, enough that I'm mentioning it.
Is that, because I've had it every once in a while, but I feel like it really depended on the RDA that I had on there. Like I wouldn't get it with my drop, but I would get it with the nudge, and I have not gotten it once with this thing.
Maybe that is the case.
Yeah, it could just be a weak spring or a low or a small tolerance for the 510 spring or something.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
I guess it's still worth mentioning then.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a major deal at all. Another thing, if you're going to get this, let me show you. I hope you can see this on screen. Let's try to catch the light. It's 100% a fingerprint magnet. Let me get that on focus. You can see how the screen tarnishes.
We have beat the crap out of this thing too. Yeah. We have been using it. You've been using it, and then I started using it nonstop. So,
but this will happen,
right,
to anybody. So you can see up here at the top, the Revenger X is peeling off. This is the actual screen. So it's another kind of negative thing is it's very hard to read the screen. And then your buttons are actually here to adjust the wattage up and down. So it's kind of touch screen, and then the menu button is right there. And so to actually access your wattage, you have to 3 clicks, and that allows you to actually adjust the wattage up and down. And then once you're you unlock it, the 3 clicks, then you can get into the menu. But the auto timeout, which you might be able to change, I forget, it's very quick. So if you're, you know, if you forget at all, like it's so quick that it just mid-adjust, sometimes it shuts down. So you got to do it again. Yeah, so just, you know, kind of keep those things in mind. With a screen like this, it's going to get pretty...
And Vape Taurus actually mentioned something that I brought up to you the other day. He says that sometimes he presses the button, or he presses the button, and oftentimes it won't fire, and I'll have to press it again in order to get it to fire. That happens to me decently often. It's not something that is a huge pain in the butt, but I do want my mod to fire when I press the button.
Yeah, that's a pretty big issue in my
Yeah.
book. And that's kind of like the same kind of thing. Is it asking if it's a new, like I don't know what that would be. I'm gonna have to look into that. But so yeah, something definitely to keep in mind with the Reventor X. I've never had any issue with the drag. So, you know, if you want something a little fancier with the touchscreen, and it's got a tactile response when you press, you can turn it off. I have it off for battery's sake, but when you press the up and down or the menu button, it like vibrates on contact.
Which is actually pretty cool.
It is a pretty cool
like
thing.
tactile things.
It's nice because you don't know if you're pressing it. Sometimes in bright light you cannot see the screen at all, so it's nice to know that you're actually pressing them. Pros and cons on both. Actually, there's not very many cons for the drag, so it's kind of going to be a preference thing if you want the fancier touchscreen. Not even so much fancier, but there's different colors, and then the resin, I don't know. So it's up to you. It's more of an aesthetic thing. Both of them will fire an atomizer, so...
Right, most of the time.
That one,
Most
that
of the
one
time.
might. That one might. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say go for the drag if those are your two options.
Sorry, Tony.
So yeah, sorry, Tony. But we'll give this one a pass because they're a first-time vapor. So let them pick whatever they want.
And no one's allowed to rag on you about it.
Yeah. Tell them to fuck off. You see any other questions in the chat here?
Sonokar 20 Baby Beast, 3 Nick Strawberries and Cream.
RX200. I still use the RX200. There's probably one in this table. I thought I saw one, but...
Yeah, mine's still kicking. Yours is
there's
still
one
kicking.
Right there. Right there.
Oh yeah, this guy.
I use them all the time. Great battery life. They feel good in the hand. It's just a big honking mod to be like trying to put in your pocket and carrying around. So that's one disadvantage. But
I am interested to see those the new gen ones. I don't know what those are called.
me either. Gen 3 maybe.
Yeah, whatever. The Gen 3s. Like, I'm interested in the longevity on those because I like the handful of those a little bit more. They're tiny. They're smaller form factors. They fit in your hand a little bit better than this thing. Don't feel like, you know, you can like kill somebody with this thing. The other one, it'd be a little harder to.
A little harder. Yeah. The 2.3 was awesome.
Yeah.
It gave you the option between this form or a 2 battery. So if you can imagine that, you kind of just cut the piece off.
And they have a new gen of that one as well, too.
Yeah, which is great because the original 2.3, I was super excited about. Finally got one, and within 2 weeks, it broke. It stopped working, and it wasn't any kind of issue. I tried taking it apart to figure out what it was. I couldn't, so I pretty much had to throw away a brand new mod, which really sucks.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a huge fan of that. I never even replaced it or anything.
That's actually one of the things that I like about this is it feels very sturdy. Once again, we'll see how it lasts on the long haul, but I feel like sturdy mods kind of like went out of style for a little bit for like looking flashy.
Right.
That thing looks like 2 pieces of metal that are freaking screwed together with those screws there. Hopefully it has some...
I'd be interested to see if that's the case.
Right, or if that's just an aesthetic choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take it apart.
Yeah, because I had a $250 DNA 200 box. I brought the chip in, and that one, I was using it for 2 weeks, and I dropped it one time, and then totally would not turn on after that. Screen wouldn't even function. So I pulled the chip out of it, and we might try to mess around with it to get it to work.
Yeah, at some point.
I mean, it's a nice chip, but you know.
The solder points are so weird. It has this like silicone over it, this white silicone. So we'll see.
Yeah, but man, a non-hardy device is, I mean, that's almost the biggest deal to me. That's like number one. If that device isn't going to last me like more than a year or even a year, you know?
Yeah. And I drop everything. I actually haven't dropped this yet.
Ooh,
yeah,
knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm just going to set it there because the next 5 seconds would be the time where I'll do it. It'll fucking hit the poles and shit. I haven't dropped it yet, but I'm guessing it's sturdy because this thing is so heavy. It is just solid. I think it's probably a hardened aluminum. Oh, price point on this thing is like $55. I'm thinking preemptively without using it a ton. I'm first impression, huge fan. Huge fan. There's a couple things I'd like to see different, but overall, pretty awesome.
Gen 2 will fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like every device.
Geek Vape G-Box opinions. I have not tried it yet. I actually haven't even seen it, so it needs a gene chip in it. That's funny. Yeah, that would actually... You know what? I'm pleasantly surprised by this chip. Again, it's super simple. I forget how you even get into it. Oh, yeah, clicks. Yeah, it's really simple. There's normal mode, which is variable wattage. It goes to bypass, which really works. This thing hits like a tank when you put it in bypass.
That just means it runs like a series.
Essentially,
okay,
yeah, but with protection.
Right.
Yeah, bypass, voltage, and normal. That's it. Three modes. No crazy memory, set temperature, variable craziness. Just really simple, which is great for me because I don't use any of that other shit anyway. I don't need clocks. Oh, that's another thing about that. You can set it to have a clock on the front, a digital clock. I have it turned off because it drains your battery.
Well, it's also just dumb. I have a cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're that lazy. You don't pull that out. You just, boom.
Right.
Some people like that kind of flashy stuff.
Asmodeus Boost. You ever heard of that thing?
Asmodeus Boost. Yeah. I hear that's a great mod. I don't have one. I haven't used one, but people love those things.
Is the Geek Vape G-Box Dual 18650 Squonk mod, is that thing regulated or is it like parallel series? How's it done? Because I would like a dual battery Squonk.
Yeah, that sounds great depending on what's in it.
Right. I mean, actually, series regulated or parallel would probably still be great.
Yeah.
Any of those, but I really want a regulated, damn it.
I really want that the Squid Industries double barrel. I have not used one of those yet.
That's regulated.
Oh, okay. Here,
Cool.
I'll throw this on bypass. I'll show you guys how it goes. We'll do it here. I have 78% on my batteries. 100 watts. Let me see what's going on here. Bypass. Boom. I've 0.09 build on here. Let me drip it so I don't fucking kill myself.
Torch your throat.
Yeah. That's one thing about those mesh tanks, man. Those mesh coil heads. You get a dry hit on those, you know it.
Yeah.
You fucking know it. Those things crush you.
One day we'll get a mesh RDA too.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand why you're not like interested in that.
I have mesh too. I have like a few different types of mesh. 304
But we don't
stainless.
have any mesh tanks or mesh RDAs.
We can build anything mesh. I can build something mesh.
How?
Twist it or fold it. You can do all kinds of stuff with mesh.
I want just like the little ribbon.
Just the okay. Yeah. All right. We'll do that little simple.
Okay, good.
It hits. I wouldn't say it's like on par with the series, but it hits.
If only we had a noisy cricket to throw it on and compare.
Yeah, I would not put a 0.09 build on a noisy cricket. But I mean, all right, so with the series, you're building that at the very least for very experienced seasoned vapor, 0.25, depending on the battery, normally around 0.3, 0.35. And you get a very similar hit to what I just got with the 0.09 on bypass. So, voltage. No, it does not. Resistance P, which would be power, I guess, 140 watts it's running. So what it's going to do is it's going to give you your maximum wattage for your battery life. And then at the bottom, it has time. So for some reason, it records how long you hit it.
That was the thing they started adding on to vapes that, like, I never understood either.
Yeah.
Or like puff counters, it'll tell you like how many puffs you've had.
That's actually kind of cool. If you look at the puff counter on the Revenger X, it's maxed out.
Really?
Yeah. I definitely put some usage into that thing.
Yeah.
With the way we vape, like those puff counters fill up fast. So you can see when I hit it, it'll show you how hard the watts or how high the watts go and how long it's going to hit. So it's going to utilize as much of the battery as possible with how much battery is there. My last little bit of this juice and I'm wasting it, firing it for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The RDA, that's the Templar RDA with the, what do you call that cap?
It's like the frosted cap, I think they call it. It's like a plastic. I think it's like a clear Delrin maybe because it does not get hot.
Yeah.
Well, it's hot now actually from running that, but
honestly, like it's the only way the Templar is a decent RDA.
That's fact. That's a fact. I do not like the Templar.
Yeah.
With the one that comes on it.
You won't find any difference in opinion from anybody. Everybody will agree.
Well, yeah, I guess. That's kind of. All right, let me go into variable wattage here, or voltage. See how that's like. V mode.
Where do you say the next innovation in the vape industry would be?
No idea.
Yeah.
That's for other people.
I agree.
Yeah. Next innovation. So I don't really know.
I mean, the Nick Salt thing's been pretty big. But
yeah.
I know that's not next. That's already here in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And then as far as devices go, I know of a couple projects coming where they're trying to redesign airflow. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. Some of the vertical coil things are cool, like the Dreamer or the Lucid and the VLS or whatever it is. We have one of those floating around. I don't know. There's not a whole lot, I guess, you could do. You've got a positive and a negative terminal and some variation on that, and then with airflow.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like I've seen most deck designs and most airflow designs.
And then once in a while, one comes around that surprises you. The Dead Rabbit, the Drop.
That means the Dead Rabbit, like...
It was
okay,
pretty
that
damn
was
innovative.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean the airflow isn't like super innovative, but the way the deck was designed was yeah, for
and
sure.
And that combo together was really innovative. I can't recall any other atomizers that have that. That's not true. There's been some really cool airflow. I forget the name of it. There was an atomizer where it had bottom airflow, and then the top cap had airflow that came in from the top cap and shot the air down at your coil. So
Wait, so it would like pull it through the cap, like under the coil?
Yeah, sort of. So you've got bottom airflow, and then think a top cap like
the Kennedy Demon cap?
No, kind of. It's like a cap that goes in on the top of the barrel. Barrel's in there, and then the top cap goes on top. And it had airflow slots that went horizontal and then vertically down right on top of the coil. And I'm talking like right on top. Tiny little 22, very short. I forget the name of it. Sapor maybe? A Sapor? Yeah, I think it's called a Sapor. Can't remember for sure, but the flavor, it was built for flavor, and it fucking delivered. That was such an awesome little RDA.
Yeah, I used to have an Aeolus. Those were okay for top airflow. I never really like loved it though, so I don't know. I did like the fact it didn't leak, because that was always my problem with those old school 22s, is they didn't really have that juice well on them, so ended up just kind of leaking everywhere all the time. So that Aeolus was a pretty big godsend when that thing first came out. We get hot as fuck though. Yeah.
What's that?
The Aeolus tank. Yes, that was the Sapor. Yeah, Jason said.
Oh, wrong one.
Mutation V4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really liked those things either.
I like the airflow, but yeah, it leaked like a sieve.
That was that really is all that mattered to me on it.
This is the best flavor RTA to date. And
too bad you should never buy a dot mod.
Yeah, I don't like dot mod. But man, do they make a nice product. I gotta give them that.
Jesus is asking, should he pick up a Templar or a Drop?
That's kind of a tough one. A Templar or a drop?
Like the thing about the drop that I'd probably recommend the drop. And the reason is there is so much more customizability when it comes to the airflow and the way that you can lay things out.
Yeah.
The Templar is awesome, but we like it this way, you know? So you have to like it that way, and you're not going to know it unless you try it. But with the drop, there's so much more variance in like what you like as a vapor that you actually have the customizability to use it for. So
yeah, I couldn't say that any better myself. That's definitely the case. I liked the Bonza, but I didn't like the Bonza. Like, there's no reason that I shouldn't have loved it. It had everything that I like in an atomizer, and it performed well. But for some reason, and I cannot tell you, I have no idea why, I just didn't love it like I should have. Like, there's no reason I shouldn't have loved it, but I didn't. So, I don't know. It's great. I used it for a while, and then I stopped. I don't know if I'd ever pick it up again.
Jared is asking, or he says something about the Dead Rabbit RTA. Should be interesting. Wonder how he's done the airflow. Have you even heard of that?
Nope.
I'm fascinated. I'm interested. I've never even heard that he's releasing an RTA. So
yeah, that should be interesting. I mean, I'm sure it would be very similar to the Dead Rabbit, just smaller, and yeah, I'm sure it's going to be exactly what
like a similar
most
deck.
people think it's going to be. Yeah. I mean, maybe not, because you look at the Icon and then the Iconic, and they're very, very, very different atomizers. So who knows? Who knows? Pics on Instagram, huh? All right. Excuse my curiosity, but I have to look it up right now.
Using the Google.
I guess I'm going to have to go
Is
through
that
Instagram.
Heathen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so no. I'm going to have to look that up later because it's taken... Oh, there it is.
Hashtag? Okay. Go to Heathen. Do you have his Heathen's...
Nah, it's all right.
All right. Yeah.
Yep, so we're going to have to look into that. Hopefully Billy will get me one of those. I beta tested the original Dead Rabbit. That was cool.
Oh, really?
The prototype, yeah, I still have the prototype.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it has it's like serial number 6 or something. It's got gold posts on both. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's here somewhere. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, that Dead Rabbit is a very cool thing. I was rocking that SQ for a long time. Right. So wait, do you have a Dead Rabbit 24 prototype and the SQ? Or do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
I have the production Dead Rabbit, the prototype Dead Rabbit, and the SQ, yeah. And the Butcher cap.
Oh, you did get a Butcher cap?
Oh no, a Priest,
Priest
cap.
cap.
The Priest cap, not the Butcher for some reason.
So weird. I wonder if it's like just parallel thinking with the drop and the Dead Rabbit.
I think it was. They were released too soon together for it to be like, look at that, and then let's make it real quick. I guess it could have happened with China, but I know Brian, Vapor Chronicles, had been... I think it was definitely parallel thinking.
Yeah.
But then the atomizer that... Did I show you that post where the atomizer is like completely ripping off shamelessly the Dead Rabbit?
No.
Go to Billy's page on your phone real quick because I want to talk about that. Oh, you're there.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, of course I pulled it up on Google. Oh, that's not even trying.
Yeah.
What is this thing called?
It's angled. The company, the Yup, they actually contacted me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to try to get it and
Tear into them?
maybe not. If I like it, I'm not going to. You know?
Actually, it's dumb. It's a small thing, but it is kind of interesting the way that they have the clamp system
It's a good
tilted.
idea. It could be the next evolution of the Dead Rabbit. I mean, I'm not going to knock it till I try it.
Yeah.
It's very similar, yeah. And it could be, depending on who you talk to, it's either they took a good idea and, you know, improved it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know why they freaking stuck that same red resin drip tip on there.
A lot of people are doing that though.
Red resin?
And it's going to be a random thing.
Oh, I see.
It won't be like red. It's probably just a mock-up. Like it's probably not even a real picture. It doesn't look like it is. A lot of companies now are doing the resin, and it's completely random which one you get.
I do not see this RTA. He has that same tank that you do, though. When you've been rocking this one.
Yep, the bubble.
Yep. You don't see it.
So there's.
Oh yeah, the looper. You gotta get that thing.
That's the prototype. Yep.
You are not really a huge fan of the 24, right?
What? Dead Rabbit?
Yeah.
No, I like the Dead Rabbit.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were...
I just like the drop better.
Okay.
But yeah, Dead Rabbit's incredible for flavor. But people ask me all the time, drop or Dead Rabbit? And it's kind of apples and oranges because they're not... Like, the only thing they have similar is the post style. Like, and it's not even the post style. It's the fact that it's cut from the bottom.
Right.
That's the only thing similar between the two. That and their YouTubers' atomizers.
Well, and they also, I guess, you clip... I guess you said
yeah,
cut from
that's
the bottom.
The only similar
thing.
thing.
Lock. They're both locking.
What do you mean locking?
Whatever, the top cap locks.
No, not on the Dead Rabbit.
Oh, the 24 does. I mean, the 22 does.
The 22 does.
But the 24 does not.
The 24 does not. And that was one of the, my only cons with the Dead Rabbit. And something, unfortunately, that I completely spaced on in the...
22.
When I beta tested the 24. But the reason it has flathead screws, post screws, is because of me.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. But the drop, yeah, it's completely different. It's just totally different. The airflow's the whole thing's different. It's shorter, I think it's shorter. Oh no, the drop's pretty tall too. But yeah, the drop just better suits the way that I like to vape. It has more airflow options. The airflow is located differently. The coils look way different, much more versatility in the drop. Different people are going to pick one as their favorite over others because they're different and they vape differently. So, you know, it's hard to say.
I don't see this Dead Rabbit RTA. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Resin is the new Ultim. Ultim was a fad that I hate the color Ultim.
Yeah, me too.
The only time Ultim, in my opinion, looks good is when it's on gold. And even then, it's like, it depends on the design of the device. Because like the Ultim on that Petri looks great, but...
it's about the only thing it does.
It's about the only thing, yeah. Yep, that's about it. But I love the Resin. I love the fact that Resin's like really popular because I love different color resins. I love matching them with different things. I think it looks great. And what I really like, which is I'm seeing more and more and more, is the honeycomb resin. And here, I'll show you what I'm like, because this tank has it.
I saw a box that came out recently that had all honeycomb as its exterior.
Yeah.
Looked fucking beautiful.
Yeah, the Wismec Ex Machina.
That actually might have been the one.
Mech Mod has the honeycomb tube in yellow, and that was the first thing I saw that had that. This is really cool because it looks like it was all made from the same piece of honeycomb resin. Like everything kind of lines up, which is cool.
Ultim piss color. Yes.
Yeah, it really is. It's an ugly color. It's such an ugly color.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, you can have Ultim in different colors. It doesn't have to be that color, but for whatever reason.
What is Ultim?
It's just a material. It's like a plastic. Like Delrin's a type of plastic, you know?
Got it. Okay. Huh.
Just a material.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you've been using that thing, and you said you prefer your Mesh Pro to that.
I prefer the mesh tank, the Firelook mesh.
Right.
Yep. I definitely do. I haven't been using this one a whole ton of time to be able to make a final opinion. I just set it up this morning, actually. Some things I did notice off the bat. I have had a little bit of leaking, not like dripping down leaking, but it just seems to always, it's almost like condensation, like the equivalent of condensation. So that's one thing. The other thing was soaking this cotton to the point where it tasted not like cotton. Took forever. Like it was a long time comparatively to other sub-ohm tanks, coils. So that's another thing. And the fact that it's a ripoff kind of, you know, I don't know, maybe parallel thinking, but I doubt it. So we'll see. We'll see. Everything's really similar. The fact that it comes with the bubbles, pretty sweet. I keep refilling this, forgetting to put the bubble tank on. I'm dying to try that.
Yeah.
Huge fan of bubble tanks. But yeah, so that's what that was like exceptionally mild compared to what I normally do.
Actually, I'm surprised you like bubble tanks with the amount you drop your RDAs.
I know, right?
Tanks, so.
I haven't broken one. They seem to be like thicker glass. I don't think they are.
We'll get you
thicker.
some sick vape bands for it. So
Vape bands. I don't know if they make big vape bands for bubble. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I've just
too.
never seen one.
Yeah, Heathen said, or David said that Heathen has a video where he addresses why he thinks the Yup was a ripoff of the Dead Rabbit, which I'm interested in watching for sure.
I'm definitely gonna watch that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. All right, guys. It's been about an hour. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions for future topics, definitely leave them in the comments. Not so much chat because we might not see them. Make sure you drop them in the comments. The video should be live in about a half an hour. It'll be video on demand.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to submit your comment to the FDA about the flavors in vaping. All the resources, everything you need in the description below. Make sure you have that bell turned on so you actually get notified when we post stuff. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Have the V200, have the Templar, have the Nudge, have this tank, all kinds of stuff.
I do also want to address someone asked about the e-juice that's being sent out for contacting Jeff Merkley and stuff.
Fucking God, dude, read a description.
Whoa. It has taken us a little bit longer than we thought. There turned out to be more, and it's taking longer than we thought to scrub through everything. It's going to happen. I promise.
You'll get your free juice.
You'll get your juice.
I'm going through every email. I've got to forward them 50 at a time, and we're talking thousands of emails.
Yeah, so please be patient. It's going to happen. The response has been amazing. It was more than we expected, but that also means it was more than we expected, and we don't have the resources that we wanted to get them out in a more timely fashion. So please be patient. They are going to be going out. It's going to happen.
And if you guys keep sending second and third and fourth emails asking about it, it delays the whole process. And please, please be patient. You don't need to contact me on my Instagram, Facebook, and cell phone.
We will talk about it when we actually start doing it. And if you don't see anything from us once those initial emails go out that are confirming that we got it, then you can email us again. But please be patient for now. We're still working through just collecting all the data.
Yeah, we're gonna get to everybody. Everybody will get their free bottle. So hang tight there. Also, we're going to be doing a 20,000 subscriber giveaway. I still can't believe that we're hitting 20,000 subscribers. That blows my mind. And it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you, huge thank you to you guys, especially all those who have been here since the beginning. You guys are incredible. But yeah, so what else? Oh yeah, giveaway. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to be in the giveaway. There's going to be a lot of meat pods. There's going to be some VLS stuff. We're just going to throw in all kinds of stuff, whatever we have around. I'm going to contact some companies and see if they want to get in on it and help out. So we'll see. Stay tuned. I'm sure I'll do a video about it or something. But yeah, make sure you have your bell on so you get notified, because YouTube is not sending out notifications. Anything else you want to?
That's it. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.
On the flip side.
See you.
I see titans and some troubles that everybody has to face, that no one really can erase, and they hide away from it. I heard laughter, I heard music. I thought, baby, there's no way